Okay, got a BAP Ana Esperanza review. Diamond 5. PC EU. Just making sure. Says he was in voice chat, but the tank was not in voice chat. Know about your sleeps. Okay, let's give it a try. I actually personally really like push maps, especially as BAP and everything. So let's kind of see how it goes.
One. Objective unlocked in 30 seconds.
Typically, I like Esperanza as well. Let me just make sure the sound's a little down. There we go. That'll be a little better. Just want to see how you do things first. Yeah, okay. I was wondering if you're going to take the high ground here and everything. First thing that I notice, so obviously your tank dies. That's not even necessarily what I was going to go for. So obviously you started out going under the bridge and then you were like, well, no, high ground's cool. High ground's good. You jump up here. I mean, I'm not sure why you're shooting healing grenades at people who aren't taking any aggro like at all. But by the time you notice that your tank is like, in the brawl or in the mix or whatever, things are going badly. I mean, the setup here does kind of suck, honestly. Like, why is your Junkrat playing further away than your Widowmaker and everything? But as BAP specifically, uh, you kind of have an idea of what the enemy team is playing just because the rockets and soldier's gun make such distinct noises. So you know that they're not playing any snipers or anything. So as BAP, if you're not going to immediately just play like straight up with your tank or anything, what I like to do is actually move over here and see if I can't get a further backline person. So like by rotating over this direction, you may have been able to take a duel on Zenyatta, but backing out even further from there, because your team comp is Mercy, the first thing that I always think to myself is Mercy is I hate this because when you're playing when I'm playing BAP, I want to shoot stuff. But whenever I have a Mercy as BAP, you have to focus more on healing just to make up for the fact that her healing outside of ult is single target essentially, just like fundamentally. But thankfully, as BAP, you do have good kill pressure on basically everyone on their team. But yeah, kind of just like poor or slower decision making. Like you're trying to get set up with your team up on the high ground, and then you didn't notice that your tank was under duress, basically. Well, let's just see how we can pull it back. Typically, by right now, like with your tank being dead, trying to also try to be careful about leapfrogging too much. I mean, it's good if you're like in the middle of a brawl, just like making it harder for the people directly in front of you to do it. But it's kind of predictable whenever you're up on the high ground and they have some time to like watch you jump. That's a bit nitpicky. But I just want to see how this team fight goes. If your team's gonna like stagger or if they're gonna try and disengage as quickly as possible. Okay, not bad. Not great either. That was a. I was hoping you were gonna get that pick a little bit faster. I mean, dying is still fine. I didn't think you were gonna get out honestly anyway, because whenever Junker Queen's commanding shout comes up, they're probably just gonna run you down anyway. Uh, Honestly, it was kind of an unfortunate series of events. You missed your heal on Widow, and then you didn't like try to hit her with a follow up. Then you turned to the soldier, and you got distracted or whatever. But like dying's not the worst thing here. I'm gonna, I'll assume that it was like intentional because dying quickly is better than living slow and then dying later like really slowly, obviously.
They've moved ahead of us.
Let's just see how this goes. I do kind of want to see you play a little bit more with the tank, just because you can play like 10 meters away from the tank, like healing them as they need it, and then taking shots on, especially the flying targets and stuff. Like that would be really nice. Playing in this death room, not great. Okay, so one of the big things about BAP is his cooldown usage. So that shift, uh, not good. Obviously, like with shift, you want to do it whenever you're taking a ton of pressure because it's like whenever you don't have shift and all you have is lamp, you're like your threat of dying becomes like way higher because they can just either wait for the lamp to expire or kill the lamp and then you don't have another panic button. Having two panic buttons is kind of integral to BAP's kit, but sometimes you can just get away with the shift because of how much burst healing it actually does if everyone's below half. But as long as you're not punished for in the next like 10 seconds 12 seconds here, it won't really matter. But I have a feeling it might go that way. It looks like they gave up pushing you for some reason. I'm not sure why. They had a numbers advantage there for a second. Okay, so specifically against Pharah, you do want to like charge exo boots at least some, just because you can jump over the splash damage of rockets. And I think that honestly, you would probably had a decent chance of being able to kill the Pharah earlier. Like whenever you first notice her, if you start charging jumps and stuff, you can probably like get some lateral headshots. Like you can just like jump to the point where you're like the same height as Pharah and just get headshots. And it really doesn't take many to to kill.
Immortality deals expire.
You notice fast enough. That's good. This is good. This is good. It's unfortunate they got the forward spawns and everything. I'm glad you haven't committed to ulting. Try not to be the one that's like in the very front of your team whenever you're pushing, or just get really good at shooting your feet with grenades to heal the people around you. Because as BAP, if people are in front of you and they don't take lethal damage, you can always keep them up, you know? Especially the more people that you have in front of you, like they don't even need to be far in front of you, but the more people you have in front of you, the more effective your grenades are, you know, because of the splash.
Someone has to keep you alive.
I really don't mind this, like aggressing on soldier, especially if his that's a good shift to keep your man's alive. You should be trying to you should be trying to position in a way that whenever the other members of her team wake up and start pushing you, you're not just like straight up out in the open, like completely unaware of your surroundings. So this is kind of like a game sense thing, and I'm being a lot harder on you being in Diamond than I would be as the other VOD reviews that I do, especially for like the, you know, the golds and below. So because you knew that Soldier was like here or he ran somewhere in this direction, whenever the Junker Queen pops up behind you guys and you have to like go into like, you know, keep Ramatra up mode, in the back of your mind, you should try to keep in mind that the soldier is probably aware that this is happening. You know, like you have walls on your teammates at all times. So while trying to fight them and keep up as much as possible, you should like be trying to maneuver yourself in a way where you're covered from where you think the enemy is going to be pushing you from, where like their backup is going to be coming from. Which in this case is like the soldier, and then and then like everybody else would be coming from that direction if they were coming. But yeah, if you can just work it in a way that you can back out while keeping them up, that would be good. It's just one of those things, definitely, where it's you're getting closer and closer to the elo where you're going to start getting punished for things that you don't even think about, and it does suck, but it is part of it, and that's one of the big ones. Like what you got going on here is pretty good. I'm not entirely sure why you dropped and all the way down. Like whenever you're up on this high ground, you don't have to jump completely down. Like you're, for whatever reason, your cast seems like they're just committed to jumping completely down as well. But like you can play this right here, like this little box. Like that's not bad or anything like that. Or if you can, well, you said the tank was not into voice chat, which is unfortunate. But if you have an idea of where everyone else is on the battlefield, you can even play their high grounds if it gives you a good spot to be in. Just anywhere that has good cover and gives you options, you know. But if you're ever gonna play in their in their space, you do have to be like very aware of who's coming back from spawn and when, you know. But personally, I would not have jumped down right then. I would have jumped to this box and just started playing from here, because the threat of dying to her shotgun is not that high if you're playing like over in this area. Just as, you know, it's a bit more nitpicky than I normally would be, but you know, Diamond Elo. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah. That's more what I mean about. That's what I mean by about Baptiste's cooldowns. Like he's kind of a slave to his cooldowns in that way. Not that like he's completely useless, because Baptiste's actual like best part is his gun. Like the damage you can do while not sacrificing like any amount of healing is very, very good. But his cooldowns are really what like makes him a strong support. Is that you're allowed to play more aggressively because of the fact that you can make up for the healing you lose by left clicking so aggressively with the burst heal with regen burst and the lamp. Like the utility of lamp, just being able to survive anything except Reaper ult, great. I think you're getting good value as BAP. This is another one of those times also where like if your team was conscious of like what heroes did, they would have been playing in front of your window just so you could keep them up with no problems at all. But can't expect people to know stuff. That's really unfortunate. He got pieced. As BAP also, if you charge your exo boots basically all the way up, you should have thrown the lamp a while ago. That's good. That's good. Oh lord. Okay, good, good, good. You're getting a little close. Yeah, unfortunate. It's basically a full reset at this point, assuming that he's gonna die. Good shift. So at this point, yeah, I would be looking to kill the Zen. I would be straight up trying to kill that Zen because that's so much pressure. If you could take that Zen out, you relieve you would have relieved so much pressure or forced a bad trance. Like right there, I know you were just trying to like dissuade him from pushing on your team, but if you could actually push him whenever he's not charging a 5-ball to kill you, you could have taken out a ton of pressure from your team, or just forced a trank whenever they weren't ready to capitalize on it.
I'm at fighting condition.
Hopefully your Widow knows that this is a reset and not to go get herself killed. You're not doing a terrible job weaving either. You know, just try to make it more of a conscious effort on your part to like, you know, shoot 2 and then heal. I mean, there's some context behind it, and like things can change. Like right now, you probably didn't need any kind of amount of healing to be done. It's crazy how things change so fast. Yeah. So that ult, a little bit, it's a little ambitious. Like with BAP ult in general, you just want to play it near a corner more than anything. Just somewhere that you have easy access to an escape route, or at the very least, if you had your lamp, like hadn't like thrown it out there, you could have thrown it like right here on this corner, just like right where this gate is, and you would have been completely immortal to swing as wide as you want into your window if that's how you were going to do it. It's just stuff like that.
How about I try that again?
But so far, I mean, I've liked the BAP, honestly.
I've got you. Come here if you want some healing.
I mean, I like the pocketing, but you should probably also just be looking for like a little bit of an angle to do some damage. Just because Ramatra, to be at his like full effectiveness, needs the enemy team to use cooldowns so that he can go in and punch form to capitalize on the cooldowns being down. I think what you did there was correct. It was a little crazy to just like assume your Hanzo was gonna get the kill on him. Thankfully, they had a little bit of backup. But you did check back every once in a while just to see if there's anything you could do to influence the fight. It's just weird. Again, the tank's not in voice chat, so it's kind of like, what the hell are you supposed to do? That's just unfortunate, yeah.
Heroes never die.
You are completely healed.
2 minutes remaining.
I kind of wish your boys weren't married to the double sniper with Ramatra comp. Your lamps, I mean, I'm not gonna say too much about the lamps. You know they need work. That's been like what, 4 lamps? Like the last 4 lamps have just been not good at all. You need to be weaving right now. You're getting frazzled. You're definitely lost in your own head. Yeah, that was unfortunate. You were definitely panicking. Or just like tilted. Probably just tilted. You were really tilted there and just like you shot like 4 or 5 bursts without even thinking about grenading anybody, and then like people were getting low, and I'm pretty sure your queen died because of it. And you were playing like so aggressively that there's literally nowhere else for you to go, unfortunately. So it's easy to say in hindsight, but it's like you gotta take a deep breath, not let what's already happened get you down, like weigh on you like that. Because I mean I know it freaks you out whenever they're getting right on top of it, but because you have like you're not in overtime yet. You know what I mean? Like you can't freak out and play sloppy just because you're afraid they're gonna get to the yellow line and you only got like a minute and a half to fix it. You gotta be cool. You gotta be cool headed.
Two minutes.
Not over yet.
Ana swap. I am curious how you play Ana, because Ana plays, fundamentally
Lost the lead.
a bit fundamentally different than BAP in my opinion.
Salt for your wounds.
Like already, I don't like what I'm seeing.
60 seconds remaining.
This is like so aggressive. Like you're just in a bad spot and you like don't have the luxury to like change your angle or anything. That worked. I mean, if you're gonna hit your shots, go nuts, man. But that's just so scary as Ana, because you're not BAP. You don't have all these ways to save yourself or anything. You have like 2 skill shots that like deter people from going on you. Like as Ana, I would have gone straight down the lane and played like over here where I can see Junker Queen, and then like maybe a bit closer so I can like swing a bit or like jiggle peek to see if I can hit somebody. But you just went straight. I'm still BAP. I can play mid range, no problem, which is just kind of scary. Like Anna's strength is that she's sniper.
Close your eyes.
BAP's strength is that he's the same range as Cass.
No recovery.
I like that you're doing the projectile way.
Remaining.
Like that's definitely better. And you're hitting them. That's what really matters.
I'm here. Keep fighting.
10 seconds remaining. Overtime.
Good sleep.
Heroes never die.
Like awesome sleep, honestly. Oh man, that sucks, dude. Like overall, you played pretty well. Like honest to God, like overall, you played well. It was just like, a few things culminated into like the game getting swung around like that. It's just like, as BAP, your attention seemed really split on what you should have been doing, and then like by the time you were, helping the people who needed help, it was kind of too late, and like some wasted cooldowns, yeah, and then like the lamp is obviously really scary. I think it's a lot to do with like just being mentally frazzled, like panicking a bit and everything. But like big thing is just like it's okay to take the aggression, like to lead the aggression and everything, as long as you can get a kill and then like turn and like heal and everything like that. Um, but yeah, like a lot of it was just cooldown usage and then like knowing who is like the biggest threat on the enemy team and like trying to neutralize them. Like the sleeps on Ana were really really good. It just happened that like you had no time to work with, honestly. But hopefully some of the things that I pointed out were at least somewhat helpful to you, and you can like take those into the next game, and things will be a lot better. But yeah, as BAP, uh, you really just want to try and get in damage, but not forget about your team. There's a lot of times whenever you don't want to, where you're like freaking out and you're like only doing damage or you're like only healing or anything, but like making sure that you weave like 90% of the time is like super important. Like there's obviously times where you need to pocket somebody. Like if a Reinhardt's like deep in enemy territory and like you pocketing them is the difference between them getting out alive and them not, then obviously just pocket them as much as they needed. But yeah, I'm also gonna link like a little bit of my own BAP gameplay that's also on Push, I believe. Maybe you can take something away from that a little bit. Obviously, I am not perfect by any means. Like I can actually tell you the mistakes that I make in those games, but I think you'll have a lot more success knowing like the things that I saw and pointed out.